Your task in writing today is to independently write a haiku poem. So you might be thinking to yourself, what is a haiku? So let's look at a really good example of what a good one looks like. Here we have butterflies in flight, brilliant rainbow colours ripple past the pond. So look at the layout of this poem here. What do you notice about it? Okay, what is the poem about and how is it structured? Because today you are going to write your own haiku poem. So let's just tune in to haikus. So a haiku is a form of poetry which originated in Japan. So you could now do some of your own investigation and look on the internet to see if you could find some other examples. Okay, a haiku represents a single idea or feeling. So it's only about one thing, one object, okay, or one feeling and emotion. Most haikus are about nature or natural things. Okay, so if you go out into your gardens or into your balcony, look around, they're usually about something outside, okay, something that it could be inspirational. Okay, so let's look at some examples of good haikus. Here we've got a haiku and it's all about the moon. Over the mountain, bright, the full white moon now smiles on the flower thief. So if we look at the structure of this, we know that this haiku is all about one thing. It's all about the moon. Okay, some things in here that make it successful, we have some prepositions at the start of sentences. So over, under, okay, those words there just make it a bit more exciting. Our sentences don't always have to start with the, okay, and we've got on here, that's another preposition. It also says the moon now smiles. The moon now smiles is a personification. Okay, so personification is when you give an object a human characteristic. We know that the moon can't really smile, okay, but it's bringing the moon to life and it's making it more exciting for us to listen to. Let's look at another example. Like a bulging eye, the moon seemed to stare at me in this creepy night. So here again, it's used personification to compare, and a simile to compare the moon to a bulging eye. Okay, so not only can you give the object human characteristics by saying it might smile, it might whistle, you can also compare it to something. What does that moon look like? Remember when we compare things like similes, we say it's as sharp as a knife, or the moon is like a bulging eye. Okay, let's look at one more example. Move on, mighty clouds, there's the goddess of the night, let her brightness beam. So here it compares the moon to a goddess of the night, okay? And we've even got some verbs at the start of sentences here. So it says move on, mighty clouds. So sometimes your sentences might start with prepositions, over, under, beneath, on top of, or they might start with verbs, powerful verbs, moving, bouncing, beaming, okay? So think about this poem here, look at it really carefully, think about what you like about it. So a haiku is a Japanese poem, and from the examples you must know it has 3 lines, okay? So all haikus must have 3 lines. It's probably the shortest poem form in the world. So look at some more examples using the internet. Now, let's tune in more to what makes it successful. A haiku must follow a structure of syllables. Okay, so the first line will always have 5 syllables. In the second line, there will be 5 syllable sounds in words. In the third line, we'll also have 5 syllables. So it follows this pattern of 5, 7, 5. And the topic of a haiku poem usually deals with nature. Okay, so a good way to think about what you want to write your haiku about today would be to go and sit outside in your garden for about 3 minutes, sit in absolute silence, think about what sounds you can hear, think about what you can feel, think about what you can see, and look around you, be inspired. What around you in nature would you like to write a haiku about? Would it be the rustling of the leaves? Would it be the animals swooping and darting around in the sky? Would it be the tiny insects that you can see crawling over leaves in the grass? Okay, so really think about what inspires you outside. So here is an example again. Now we know our success criteria of what a good one looks like. So a good way to check that it has 5 syllables is to remember to put your hand underneath your chin. And every time that your mouth moves, your jaw moves, you know that that is usually a syllable. So let's test it out. Hand under the chin. The leaves fell slowly to the unforgiving ground. Too soon, summer's gone. Okay, so this haiku here follows the pattern of 5, 7, 5. So now we've looked at what good examples look like. You need to choose a theme for your haiku poem. So go and sit outside. You could write maybe about the clouds. Okay, you could write about waterfalls, about a rainbow, about the night. You could write about the morning. What thing in here do you think? What theme could you not write about a haiku poem? What would not fit the success criteria? It would probably be a pizza. That isn't about nature. It's not a natural object. Or a train. We don't want to write about a train. But any other things, even painting, we don't really want to write about painting. We want to be inspired by something outside in our nature. So make sure that your poem follows the structure of 5 syllables, 7 syllables, and then 5. Okay? They must all have 3 lines. Okay? They do not need to rhyme. Okay? But you must make sure it follows the syllable structure. Here's a quick tip for writing a haiku. So you might want to start off, or once you've come up with your idea, just write a sentence about that thing. Okay? For example, if you're going to write about an elephant, you might want to say an elephant has a long trunk like a snake, which it uses to drink water from a river. Once you've done that, split your idea into 3 lines. So for example, an elephant has a long trunk like a snake, which it uses to drink water from a river. Once you've done that, then start deleting or changing some words to get the right number of syllables for each line. Elephant's long trunk. That has 5 syllables. A weaving snake reaching down. That has 7 syllables. And we've even added in some powerful verbs. Weaving, reaching. Sucking up water. That has 5 syllables. So see how we started our sentence with a verb. Okay. Now, your task is to write a haiku poem. Remember the steps to success. Make sure it's inspiring. Okay, and have a go. Try your best. Good luck. I can't wait to see what you achieve.